Here we go, let's dive into Grandpa Was an Emperor. Yeshi Kassa opens a suitcase sent to her after the death of her aunt, Princess Ruth. She reflects on the family photographs and memorabilia, describing the once glorious royal lineage and the old palace, and introduces her great-grandfather, Emperor Haile Selassie. This moment sets the stage for the personal journey Yeshi embarks on, as she reveals her longing to understand what truly happened to her scattered family after the 1974 coup. Tensions rise in Ethiopia as archival news footage and family recollections reveal the growing opposition to the monarchy and the rise of the military junta, known as the Derg. The documentary explains the public demonstrations in Addis Ababa and the ruthless approach of Mengistu Haile Mariam, who is prepared to use violence against any dissent. The threat to the imperial family is made clear, foreshadowing the brutal events to come. The film provides historical context for Haile Selassie's reign, detailing his efforts to modernize Ethiopia, his international stature, and his complex legacy as both a visionary and a feudal ruler. Narration and interviews discuss Ethiopia's economic struggles, the persistence of a fundamentally unequal system, and the seeds of unrest that would ultimately lead to revolution. This section highlights the paradoxes of Selassie's era and the challenges faced by the royal family amid calls for reform. September 12th marks the pivotal moment of the military coup. Family members recall the army surrounding the palace, their anxiety as they watched soldiers take Haile Selassie away, and the surreal final words of the emperor. The film illustrates the confusion and disbelief among the royals as the monarchy collapses and a new era of violent, radical change begins under the Derg and Mengistu. Yeshi interviews her relatives about their harrowing experiences in captivity. They describe the cramped, oppressive conditions of the prison, 12 people confined to a small, windowless room with constant neon lighting, no running water, and infestations of rats. The psychological torment and strategies for survival are discussed, revealing the depth of trauma endured by the women of the imperial family during years of unjust imprisonment. The documentary revisits the horrific executions of the imperial officials, including the infamous Et60, who were deceived into thinking they were being relocated before being summarily executed. A former Derg member recounts the bloodthirsty mood of the regime, with Mengistu rallying his committee to approve the killings by a show of hands. The madness and brutality of the revolutionary period are laid bare, underscoring the loss and terror inflicted on the royal family. News breaks of Haile Selassie's death, initially reported as natural, but later revealed to be murder by suffocation and the disposal of his body in a drainage system. Family members and narrators express their sorrow and disbelief at the undignified end of the once revered emperor. The scene draws parallels with the fate of other deposed royal families, emphasizing the sense of isolation and unanticipated tragedy. During the height of the Red Terror, Yeshi and her siblings are hidden by an American missionary family after their aunt recognizes the danger they face. The children are forced to live in secrecy, constantly in fear, while the Derg's violence intensifies across Ethiopia. This escape sequence highlights the network of allies who risk their lives to protect the imperial descendants and the ever-present threat looming over the family. After more than a decade in prison, Yeshi's mother, aunts, and grandmother are finally granted amnesty and released. The documentary gives voice to the relief and bittersweet emotions as they reunite with loved ones, reflecting on the years lost and the enduring bonds of friendship and international advocacy that helped secure their freedom. This moment marks a turning point as the surviving royals begin to reclaim their lives. The film examines the post-Derg era, focusing on the attempts to seek justice through trials of former regime members, including Mengistu, who is sentenced in absentia. Despite convictions, most perpetrators deny responsibility or are later granted clemency, leaving many survivors, including Yeshi, yearning for closure. Yeshi's efforts to confront these figures and obtain truth and accountability highlight the ongoing struggle for reconciliation in Ethiopia. The documentary concludes with the unveiling of a statue honoring Haile Selassie in Addis Ababa, a symbolic act of recognition and reconciliation for the family and the nation. Yeshi attends the ceremony, reflecting on the long journey from trauma and erasure to remembrance and hope. She speaks about the importance of educating future generations about both the achievements and failures of Ethiopia's past, expressing her resolve to preserve her family's legacy and contribute to her country's healing. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this recap, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. See you in the next one.